Good evening, folks. Welcome to the special broadcast here on First Responders Night. Sorry about the delay. We had a small glitch here at the arena, but we are underway as we had a very special face-off with the First Responders here in Warkworth as the visiting Richmond Hill Coyotes. As we're going to take a look at the starting lineups for tonight's game. As Stallions break this one in. They come in a 2-on-1. That's Naylor on the far side. He puts it around behind the net. That's Bradley coming in behind, tipped away by Richmond Hill. Big battle here in front of us as that's Ron Ramsey skates by his man. Tries to get the puck and is picked off and shot down the ice and picked up by Richmond Hill. Both the attacking defenseman comes in as a nice save by Bedard, kicked off to the side, 18:51 of the first period. As the Trent Hill Stallions come back in. As that's Naylor again. Bradley come in, give him a hand. Kicks it out front and slapped away by the Richmond Hill defenseman Isotov. Richmond Hill on the attack. Pass back, miscue. Puck goes all the way down. Be no icing on that one as it goes in behind Maselli. Chipped up by Summersall. Chipped in by the centerman and kicked back in. And is taken around the net by Turcotte. Puck is turned over by the Stallions as it goes back in. And that's going to be an icing call as we again rotate through the opening lines tonight. After talking to Coach Revo, the keys to tonight's game to get around the Richmond Hill Coyotes was going to be a willingness to get dirty in the areas that they will be rewarded. Heavy placement presence in the defensive zone causing turnovers. And of course, win those special teams battles. A lot of penalty minutes tonight as both teams have the players in the top 5 of the entire league. As the Stallions continue to control and get the puck out. That is McDougall trying to get it on the inside. He spins away from his man, tipped in by Bennett. That's Jake Bennett getting a stick on that, and he's unable. Jake Bennett was moved up to the top line tonight as both teams come in for the face-off to the left-hand side of Maselli. That's Robinson and Moran on the point. As Arnold and Thompson on the far side. Thompson loses that draw. Hard hit behind the net as it's controlled by Leonte. And that's Arnott from Richmond Hill passing that up. Campbell now carries it in. He's one-on-one with Robinson. Long shot. Kicked out to the side by Bedard. And moved around the outside. Controlled by the Stallions as they break out. On a 2-on-4 right now. As Thompson kicks around the outside. That's Arnold now with the puck. As he looks for Leonard out front of the net. Doesn't find him. Finds Robinson the point. Robinson tries to get that through. That's Thompson. And Maselli grabs that one. What a great little chip in by Robinson. And Leonard hits that one and it's kicked off to the side. 17:04. Shots are 4-3 for the Stallions. As Thompson lined up, but they're changing the couple of the forwards there. That's going to be Beckett. Jake Bennett. And McDougall steps in to win this draw. Face-off won by Richmond Hill. Kicks it out and controlled. Slapped around Moran. He has trouble finding it. As Bennett knocks him off his man and controlled by Bennett. That's Beckett. Beckett over to Bennett. Bennett, big shot. Saved by Maselli. Kicked off to the right-hand side and controlled by Richmond Hill. That's Arnott. Arnott kicks it up to the mid. That's Marciano as he tries to kick it through the midsection and turned over by the Stallions. Beckett just misses the pass behind him as it's iced down by Arnott. Chased down, it's waved off by the officials. And controlled by Robinson. He's hit behind his own net. Moran into his corner, hits his man. And there's a battle on the boards there. That's Bennett in there battling away. As Lionel tried to go through his feet with a little fancy how's she going, but didn't get it. Quick shot by Richmond Hill, misses the net. And this is Richmond Hill controlling in their own zone. As Bedard stands up tall in his man, 5-3, and scores! Trent Hill's on their heels. On the 5th shot of the night goes in the net. As it's now 1-0 Richmond Hill, surprising the Trent Hill Stallions right out of the gate. as that's going to be Lakatos scoring that one. As it's 1-0 at 16:05 of the first period. Face-off battle middle. That's Jacob Trotter, Jacob Newman out there. Jacob chases his man behind the net. Hard hit. And the Trent Hill Stallions chase the puck down the ice into their own net, their own zone. As it's hard around the outside and not cleared by the Stallions. Long shot in, handled by Bedard. And carried up through the middle zone by Willman. Willman dumps that in. That's Jacob Trotter and Jacob Newman both chasing in as they both circle in behind. As Bennett pitches in, doesn't get it, and it's heading down the ice, waved off by the officials. 15-18, shots are 5-5, 1-0 Richmond Hill. Long pass missed, tipped by Bradley, and the icing again is waved off. As Bradley hits his man hard against the side of the net, and as the puck is chased down, dumped in by Lapan, and held on by Bedard. Referee took a stumble in the corner there. We're going to have to take a look at that one. Guys at home will be laughing about that one. Again, first responders night here in Warkworth. We're still having trouble with our computer here, folks. It is 1-0 for Richmond Hill. As the face-off won by Richmond Hill. Long shot misses the net. And shot in by Richmond Hill, controlled by the Stallions as they move it back outside. As the puck is missed by Leonard and head back down the ice. This is Asseltoff carrying across the midsection. And called offside by the referee. 14:39 face-off to the outside. Face-off comes outside to the neutral zone to the left-hand side of Bedard. Again, here, first responders night. Great crowd tonight. As the face-off is won by Richmond Hill and dumped in off the linesman, stays outside. Now killed in by Lapton, as that's Wellman behind his own net, looking to clear that out. Nobody there, missed assignment, as it's gone from D to D and kept in by Richmond Hill. As Arnold skates by his man, missing the puck. That's Thomas. Sends it down the ice. This is Summersall. This is Jedi Summersall, former captain of the North York Renegades, as he's now the anchor and the defenseman on this team. As Richmond Hill clears it up, knocked down by the center, that's Leonte. As he is battled hard by Turcock behind the net and hit hard. Wellman comes in to give him a hand, but still controlled by Richmond Hill. And controlled out now by Richmond Hill. Long shot, nice save by Maselli. Slapped away, loose puck, not cleared. And it is outside, and they're unable to keep it in as that's Campbell carrying it down now. Wellman pushes his man out the outside, now chased by Robinson. Missed pass by Richmond Hill. As that's Bradley coming in, flipping the puck out. And turned over center by Richmond Hill. That's Marsalio. As it's kicked up to his winger. Oh, close hit there by the red line by Bradley. As a shot into the corner. As Trent Hills again is back on their heels as they're trying to get the puck out. And the puck's out, missed by the defenseman as it's chased into the corner. Hit hard around the net by Naylor. And he's chased hard by Bradley. And shot hard across the ice. That's Robinson missing the assignment. Shot missed over the left-hand side of Bedard. Controlled by Trent Hills. And the puck is held on by Bedard. 12:52 of the first period gone. As we're still trying to correct that visitor score for you. As it is 1-0 for the Coyotes. There we go. We got her all figured out now, folks. 12:52. Face off to the right-hand side of Bedard. Won by Richmond Hill. Kicked in. As that was Wellman kicking the puck off to the side. Long pass out for Beckett. Beckett controls. Hooks back to his own zone. McDougall and Bennett up high. Shot in long around the net by Wellman, controlled by Marcelli behind the net. He's kicked around. Controlled by McDougall. He circles around the outside, drop for Wellman. Wellman tips it in, note to back it back to Wellman, and tipped in and turned over by Marcello. Hit hard against the boards by McDougall, as he's also hit by Wellman out front of his own bench. A little whack there. As controlled by Bennett. Bennett kicks it up to Beckett. Beckett across ice to Wellman as Beckett gets hit hard. Beckett just slashed his guy, broke his stick. Behind the call, behind the play, no call there. Newman comes on for Beckett, long pass. Newman now controls his own zone, avoids a check. He battles his guy into the corner. Newman puts it out front, nobody there. As Jake Trotter takes a swing at that and doesn't get it. Newman steps into his man, kept in by Zetto. As that's Jake Trotter carrying the puck around his own net, battling in his own corner. Jacob Trotter, he took the opening faceoff. He's a volunteer firefighter here for the Trent Hills Department. Kind of a legacy, as him and his father is also a firefighter. As this is Jake Newman dumping the puck down and chasing Summersall into the corner. Summersall avoids the check from Newman. Newman steps around his man. That's Cox trying to battle that out. And stepped in, cleared, and missed by Zetto, and it goes all the way down. As Turcotte chases that down, that's going to be icing at 11:09 as we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
This live presentation of the Trent Hills Stallions hockey brought to you by King Auto, providing full auto repair, brakes, steering, AC, and undercoating. All tires from wheelbarrow to tractors to all vehicles.
Face off to the left-hand side of Marcelli. As Richmond Hill jumps and goes a little bit early, centerman gets thrown out. That's going to be Caprese coming in. He's also kicked out. That's Berchetti now coming in to take the face off. Up against Thompson. Arnott up front with that as well. As is kicked around, controlled by Asseltoff. 11:04, shots are 7-7. 1-0 Richmond Hill. As Trent Hill comes in and finishes their things. Lots of whacking going on right now. Lots of bumping middle section. As that's Asseltoff again controlling. Up the boards, tipped in long by Richmond Hill. And tipped out of play. Face-off should come all the way back to the face-off circle just outside of the Richmond Hill bench. Again, huge crowd here. A lot of first responders, paramedics, firefighters, and police officers. And, of course, the hayloft upstairs packed by the friends of the Warkworth Arena. As we get ready at 10:49. And face-off won by Richmond Hill. Long dump in by Moran. Controlled by the defense of Richmond Hill. They take a wild swing at trying to get that in. That's Robinson stepping in, bumping his man. And is chased in by Ramsey. Bradley finishes his check against McDonald. As it's chased back into the corner by Moran again. Battling behind the net. Robinson clears that out. He's going to carry that and heads up the end. He's got Ramsey with him. And Bradley and Arnold, they go into the corner and battle it out. 3 Trent Hill players behind the net. And it's cleared out. That's Robinson stepping in. He takes a hard hit but keeps it in. Puck shot around. This is going to be Bradley chasing his man. As Richmond Hill looks at it, that's Moran keeping that in. As Pan goes behind his net there, getting chased. And it's put back over to Presidio. Kept in. Oh, that's going to be a penalty coming up there. That's going to be a trip. As Bradley goes after his man after the low hit. As they're just going to wrestle to the ice on that one. At 9:53 of the first period. That was a very, very close call on that hit. He was able to avoid that. And as we get this worked out, we will be right back.
This live presentation of the Trent Hills Stallions hockey brought to you by Pro9 Sports, home of the weekly Razzies, custom framing for art, jerseys, sports prints, and more. Magnolia Bloom, fee for service. This live presentation of the Trent Hills Stallions hockey brought to you by Local 401, building the North Shore of Lake Ontario since 1900. Finley Refrigeration, heating and air conditioning. Teamsters Local 230, chapter of the Brotherhood of Teamsters.
As they continue to work this one out here, face-off will be in the Richmond Hill zone. Again, welcome everyone to the live stream here in Warkworth at the Percy Arena. Face-off will be right here right in front of us here to the right-hand side of Maselli. As the officials are still looking for a call on that one. No time up on the clock yet, 9:53:77. Again, first responders night here. As it's very packed capacity here. As they send out the power play unit here for Trent Hills. As this will be Bennett up front with Beckett. And McDougall, they opt for the other side. They want the left-hand side of Maselli. Robinson's on the point with Moran. 2-minute minor being called for that trip. Puck is dropped. And the puck is shot down, again, short-handed. That's Bedard controlling the puck behind the net. That's Robinson, goes back to pick this up as the Stallions regroup. 1-0 Richmond Hill. This is Beckett carrying it up through the neutral zone. He cuts across, cuts back inside, and coats on the half board. Drop to Jake Bennett. Bennett back down to Beckett. Beckett moves it around the outside, back to Robinson. Robinson back to Beckett. Beckett looking for the cross-ice pass, doesn't get it. Back to Robinson, long shot, tipped away by Marcelli. Beckett pinching in for Robinson, controls back at the line, back to Robinson. Robinson looking for the quick shot, tipped outside, and that will stay inside to the left-hand side. There might be a problem with that time on the clock. Hang on, there's a problem with the clock right now as they're going to try and get this one worked out. That was going to be a 5-minute major that they called earlier. That must be the problem with the time right now. As we try to work this one out. They're still trying to work this out in the clock. 1:25 is showing. Perhaps that should be 4:25. As we're still trying to get this one worked out here. Sorry, folks, for the delay. As we're going to go deep again to the right-hand side of Marcelli. Puck was tipped out by Richmond Hill. And face-off won by McDougall, but controlled by Richmond Hill. Shot around, knocked down by Jake Bennett. They tried to clear that out. And kept in at the line by Travis Bennett. As that's Turcotte as he spins away from his man. Nice little move there by Colby. As Turcotte comes in from the outside. Nice drop down to Beckett. Beckett goes across the ice back to McDougall. McDougall side steps back to Bennett and cannot control and comes outside. 8:52 left. 4 minutes left in the major penalty for kneeing. As the penalty shot outside and controlled by Larkos. As Bennett chases him behind the net and they break out. This is Richmond Hill coming in on the odd man rush, short-handed. So there was offsetting penalties just now. We just found out it is 2 minutes on the clock, as that's a long shot by Turcotte, easily handled by Marcelli. So there was a roughing call on that as well, offsetting penalties and shorthanded call. This is Thompson setting in for this one. And he's up front with Arnold and Leonard. Robinson on the point, and he's lined up with Moran. Leonard kicks it back to Moran. Moran, a big shot, tipped away outside, and just missed by Thompson. That's Andrew Moran with a huge shot from the point. Huge rocket on him if he can get one wound up there, and he just missed. As controlled by Bennett. This is Robinson carrying the puck up through the neutral zone. He kicks it onto the far side and carried in by Arnold, dropped in. As that's Thompson, tries to get inside, and Marcelli kicks that away. Kicked in behind the net to Arnold and controlled by Robinson. Back to Moran. Shot. Misses the net. Cooked around the net, and that's Leonard unable to keep that in. Now it's a foot race here as Robinson kicks back, kicks it past his man, and now that's Leonard. Leonard going to the outside. That's Moran stepping up. He bumps his man center ice. That was Summersall standing him up as it's kicked back down, and that's Marcelli easily handling the puck. Face off to the left of Marcelli as both lines change. This is Beckett and McDougall and Jake Bennett coming back out as Wellman and Travis Bennett on the point. 7:26 shots are 7-7, 1-0 Richmond Hill. Face off won by Richmond Hill and controlled and shot down by Pan. Knocked down by Beckett. Beckett circling away trying to open this trap up. Doesn't get through. Beckett again controls the outside. Bennett staying in front of the net. That's Wellman sipping in. The puck's kicked away from him. And Bennett grabs control in the center of the ice. Beckett goes around the outside, kicks that back. And carried up the ice. This is Travis Bennett pushing his way through. Gets bumped off by a stick, but keeps control. He's hitting to the boards. He comes in to battle his man. Huge fight there in the corner. That's Bennett, and they're both bashing each other hard. Beckett looking for the pass, just missed by Jake Bennett as it's shot down the ice. Bedard comes back out. As there's no time on the clock, but it's still 5-on-4. Well, now we're 5-on-5. Shot from Beckett. He goes for the slap pass, doesn't get it. As we return to 5-on-5 hockey. As that was Jake Bennett drops his man out front of the net. As the face-off will take place to the left-hand side of Marcelli. As Bradley comes out on the ice. He's up there with John Ramsey and Naylor. That's Adam Naylor. On the point, Colby Turcotte. And, of course, his defense partner, that's Brett Thomas. As they fight around the outside, shot in deep. Bradley bumps his man. That's John Ramsey behind the net, kicks away. And Thompson keeps that on. Says Zetto on the back of his jersey. That's Thompson, though, or Thomas. As Ramsey controls the puck, looking for the outside, kicked away by Richmond Hill. John Ramsey stays on and battles through. 6:06 left of the first period. As Jarko's kicking that out for Richmond Hill and stepped in by Thompson. Controlled by Maleni. Long shot in. Colby Turcotte chases that into the corner. He controls behind that and kicked around the outside. As John Ramsey gets beat by his man into the half board and controlled by Richmond Hill. Bradley picks this one off and he breaks out. Odd man rush, 2-on-3. As Bradley goes the outside, long shot, easily kicked aside by Marcelli. Big hit here along the corner right here in front of us, and John Ramsey finishes his check as they go back down the ice. And that's Colby Turcotte controlling behind his own net. Shots are 9-7 for Trent Hills. As Jake Trotter, Jake Newman come out on the forward line. They're out there still with Cox. And controlled by Jake Trotter. Quick rush shot and easily grabbed by Marcelli. 5-11, shots are 9-8. 1-0 for Trent Hills. As we got Liam Cox, Jacob Trotter center with Jacob Newman. As they are changing the lines again. Revo looking for, Coach Revo looking for this, trying to get inside this. This is Thompson stepping in for his face-off. He's up against Campbell. Campbell getting instructions from the linesman. That's Mr. Patrick Paquette. He's the linesman on this one here. As Campbell checks his man against the side there as Richmond Hill battles this one out. Robinson slaps that away. And controlled by Trent Hills, dumped in by Thompson. Gets the line. He's looking for the outlet pass, goes across the ice, off the foot of Leonard, and is kicked in behind the net. That's Eiseltoff as he carries it outside, looking for the long ice pass. It's missed, and shot all the way down, and this will be icing at 4:40 of the first period. The OSHL podcast comes out every week on Tuesday on Spotify and YouTube. Catch up with the panel that gives it to you straight. That is the OSHL podcast. Catch it wherever you get your podcast. As Trent Hill wins, long shot by Wellman. Tip, that's a loose puck. As Newman came in to battle that one, and here we go. That's Newman in there as Campbell rips his helmet off. Trotter. Summersall having words with Jacob Newman. As there was a loose puck, everybody came in for that one. As Summersall pleading to get the faceoff taken outside. as there was a loose puck. We could see it from here. As Jacob Newman up front with Cox. On the point, Travis Bennett. And that's Wellman. Jacob Newman's got to go off, get his helmet fixed. That'll be Beckett coming out to take his spot on the left-hand side, 4:32. As Trent Hills looks to climb back into this one here, as Jacob Trotter wins that one again. Last game, Jacob Trotter was absolutely fantastic on the center, as Liam Cox completes his check along the boards. And Beckett chases that out. Slapped away by Ian Cox, missed. Travis Bennett also misses his check as he goes behind the net to get that puck. 4:14 left of the first period, controlled by Richmond Hill. Back to the point as they go to Somersall. Somersall shot. Again, Somersall with that huge slap shot. As Somersall picks this one off and chipped away, just missed by Jacob Trotter and slapped away by Wellman. Richmond Hill controls through the neutral zone and carried in by Kaplan. As that's Jedi Somersall going back to get the puck, spins away from his man. And nice backhand pass. He goes across the ice. This is Richmond Hill coming in. As Bedard reads that one going across the end, and he easily saved by Bedard. And Richmond Hill controls back in the low corner. As Campbell finishes his check against Campbell and knocks his guy down. Puck slapped in low as Bedard kicks that one to the right-hand side, 3:24 of the first period, as we're still 1-0 Richmond Hill. As Jacob Bennett controlling, there's Beckett, gets the puck, he slaps it across the ice. And they couldn't touch the puck as there was too many men on the ice there for Trent Hills. As that's Wellman getting really slow getting up, as that's Thompson carrying in. He's rubbed out against his man on the half board and shot out and slapped down by McDougall, unable to be kept back in. He shoots it back in. That's Bennett. He goes across ice and controlled by Jake Bennett, and that's Colby Turcock with the puck now. He spins away from his man. Up to Bennett. Bennett steps around his man. Hard across the ice to Beckett. Beckett shoots it in. That's Pan picking it off for Richmond Hill. As Pan goes behind his own net, looking for the outlet pass, Beckett chases. Pan carries it up. He kicks off the side of Brichetti, and that's Colby Turcock stepping in, slaps it away. McDougall controls, looking for the outlet pass, goes off the foot, and hard slapped out by Trent Hills. Colby Turcock again controls. Looks for the outlet pass and picked up by Bradley. He shuffles up to Beckett, but missed. This is John Ramsey carrying it in. Long dump in, as this is Bradley chasing the puck in behind the net. He chases his man and shut out. Slapped in hard by Naylor. That's Ramsey behind the net now as Trent Hills tries to get it outside, and now it's controlled with an odd man rush as Richmond Hill dumps it in. And that's Caprizi getting chased in by Moran. Moran beats his man in, shoots it around, but kept in by Richmond Hill. Moran controls, stops behind his own net, looking to regroup. 1:40 left of the first period, and shot over to Robinson, back to Moran. Trent Hills again regrouping at 1:35 left of the first, as Moran looking for the outlet pass. That's Robinson on the streak there, gets picked off by the Richmond Hill defenseman. That's Pan again controlling, as long dump into the right-hand side of Bedard, as Robinson gathers that puck up and shoots it around the net. Back to Moran, and he kicks it out, and the assignment's just missed there by John Ramsey. Richmond Hill down the middle there looking for the offside pass, doesn't get it. Richmond Hill back pedals, trying to control. That's Haddad. He kicks it up through the middle as he carries it in through the middle. That's Appizi. And kicked in, shot against the boards by Trent Hills. Shot out by Naylor and controlled by Richmond Hill. Last minute of the first period. Shots are 10-8 Trent Hills as they're unable to get through to Marcelli as Bradley chases his guy behind the net as Leonard misses his assignment. Puck's carried in by Richmond Hill and scores. That is, I think that was Leonard that banged that one in, as it is now 2-0 for Richmond Hill. Here at First Responders Night in Warkworth, Ontario. That was Larkos that scored that one. Pretty little pushover As a face-off, won by McDonald from Richmond Hills, slapped down by Trent Hills. 25 seconds left. As that is Travis Bennett as he kicks that one up. Beckett controls. Misses the assignment off the short board and kicked back down the ice. That's Colby Turcock. Oh, misses his assignment. And this is Beckett coming in. He's by himself. Oh, and it's slapped away by Haddad. Great defensive play by number 25, Michael Haddad. As controlled by Trent Hills. Wraparound by McDougall. Failed attempt. And the buzzer goes. And we end the first period 2-0 Richmond Hill. As we will now go to the intermission show. And we will see you shortly after. And we're back. Welcome to the Percy Arena as it's 2-0 here right now. 3 games going on in the OSHL. As right now the Elora Rocks are leading the Stratford Fighting Irish 1-0. 0-0 Tillsonburg and Dunnville. And of course here live in the Percy Arena, 2-0 for Richmond Hill. As Bedard will be off to our left now. As Trent Hill hits the ice here on First Responders Night. Again, capacity crowd here, the Hayloft upstairs, run by the Friends of the Warkworth Arena, is packed, which is always great to see. Lots of police, paramedics, and firefighters. All in right now. As we get ready to take off here. And the face-off push through by Trent Hills as it goes behind the net. And the puck is shot back down. And controlled by Richmond Hill. As the puck is taken in by Trent Hill's long shot off the foot of the defenseman. As it's controlled by Richmond Hill, they look to get outside. Richmond Hill coming in over the line to the left-hand side of Bedard. And shot out by Trent Hills, but controlled by Richmond Hill. That's Moran. Moran controls the puck as he moves around the outside, shoots it down. Goes off the leg of the defenseman back to him. Shot all the way up and tipped in by Bradley. Bradley hooked around the outside. That's Ramsey, gets a shot off. And that's Bradley controlling as it goes down low. John Ramsey in the corner, fights hard along the half board. Richmond Hill gets it back out as they cut through the middle. This is Colby Turcotte backing up with Bennett. As Armand carries away from his man, Bradley goes to stick chest him and nothing. Colby Turcotte into the corner, battles through his man, and that's Bradley carrying the puck out, looking for the outlet pass, and controlled by John Ramsey to the left-hand side of Marcelli. Ramsey into the corner, tries to get it out front off the side of the net. And shot again out front by Naylor. As John Ramsey tries to go on the outside, doesn't get it. And kicked around the middle. Odd Ryan Rush comes back. That's Bennett stepping up to kick his man back in. As Richmond Hill controls and goes back to their own zone. 2 minutes gone in the second period. Shots are 10-9 as Richmond Hill trying to get away from his man. Turned over by Bradley, gets a shot off. Nice save by Marcelli. As it comes back down 2-on-2. Richmond Hill goes the outside as he's kicked away by Turcotte. Slams it hard against the board, kept in by the Richmond Hill defenseman. Kicked around the outside. Not controlled. As Becca blows a tire on the outside, can't get to his man. Puck shot outside. That's Jake Bennett picking that off as Somersall. Picks that one off, controls on the blue line, dances, brings it in on the outside. Jedi Somersall hit hard by Turcotte. As Bedard makes a save and Colby kicks it back behind the net. Wraparound attempt knocked away by Bedard as Turcotte battles his man behind the net. Controlled around the outside. Again, controlled by Richmond Hill. Looks for the pass and Somersall just about hit that one. Bedard stands his ground. Long shot missed. Hits the back of the net. Turcotte battles his man. As Richmond Hill circles around the outside, that's Somersall pitching in. Quick shot off the foot of Turcotte. Goes behind the net. That's Eiseltoff. He controls around the outside. That's Bennett unable to get the puck out. That's Eiseltoff carried in. Long backhand. Bedard can't find that one as he eventually finds that one and controls it to the outside. .16:49 to the first period. Second period. Face off to the right-hand side as Jake Trotter steps in to take this draw. As face-off won by Richmond Hill. Long shot in, tipped away to the outside by Bedard. As Jake Newman tries to kick that to the outside and just missed by Cox. Oh, nice hit by Moran. As Jacob Newman goes in the corner, battles his man. That's Robinson giving him a hand. As Cox tries to get it back out. Off the leg of Jake Newman, long shot. And kicked away by Moran. He's chased around behind the net. tipped up as Cox tries to help and get that puck out. Robinson controls in the corner, long shot. Kept in by the defenseman as Cox is hit. Bedard kicks off the left-hand side. As the net is knocked off, as Bedard fell back into his net. As the clock is stopped at 16:11. Shots are now 17-10 for Richmond Hill as they've kind of turned this one up in the second period. As we try to fix the moorings on this one, as the face-off will come to the right-hand side of Bedard. As Thompson steps in to take this draw. Face-off won by Richmond Hill. Long shot out to the left-hand side of Bedard. Kicked out by Leonard. Leonard controlling through the neutral zone. He tips it in. That's Thompson chasing into the corner. He's checked in by his man in the corner, wrapped up, pushed into the boards. Arnold steps in to give him a hand. As Arnold battles his man in the corner, knocks his man down, goes behind the net. As Richmond Hill controls in the half board, kicked around the outside, tipped in. That's going to be waved off as that's Moran coming back hard. He goes off the glass and kicks back down, controlled by Richmond Hill. 15:34 the first period as Trent Hill turns it over, and they're battling down in Richmond Hill. They're looking for the outlet pass and just misses out front. That was Bradley almost getting it. Richmond Hill large, loosely slapped in as kind of a missed hit on that one. There's a penalty coming up. That's going to be against Richmond Hill, probably for the interference hit on Naylor. As Moran just drills his guy behind the net at 15:07, as the Trent Hill Stallions will be going to a power play.
This live presentation of the Trent Hill Stallions hockey brought to you by Friends of the Warkworth Arena. Visit them at the Hayloft every home game. Cassie's Cleaning, deep cleaning maid services, move in or move out cleaning.
As the face-off will come to the right-hand side of Marcelli. Looks to be some power play. It is a power play there. The miscounted there. Sorry about that. As McDougall takes a wild swipe at that and doesn't get his man. As Bennett battles his man out front. That's Beckett coming through the outside. As Richmond Hill comes in shorthanded as Turcotte pushes him outside. Bedard takes a swing at that. As this game's starting to get a little bit chippy as we had a battle here right here in front of us. That's Turcotte over to Beckett. Beckett taking a look, steps as his man. As Beckett slows this one down. That's McDougall cutting through the inside as it's tipped away. He circles back. Trent Hill's looking to get inside. Being down 2 in the second period as that's Beckett carrying it in, shoots around the net. That's Jacob Bennett on the far side, chases his man in. As he controls and tries to get that behind the net and does. That's Beckett in the corner. He goes back to Bennett. That's a long shot. That was Taylor Bennett. As he's out there, Travis Bennett. He's out there with Jacob Bennett. A lot of Bennetts as they get that in. Trent Hill's changes as that's Leonard, Arnold, and Thompson coming out on the power play unit 2. As Robinson and Moran step in on the point. As Leonard takes the draw and controlled by Richmond Hill. That's Jedi Somersault cutting around the inside, coming in shorthanded. 1 minute left of the penalty against Richmond Hill. As Jedi Somersault, the one-handed pass, long shot, and tipped to the side by Bedard. Nice read. But again, that was a shorthanded effort by Richmond Hill. This is Arnold to the outside. He tries to go outside out front of the net and doesn't get it. Richmond Hill controls, come back down. As Campbell goes around from his man as he's bumped hard against the boards by Arnold. Richmond Hill goes back behind their net. 30 seconds left of the penalty. 13:35 left of the second period. 2-0 Richmond Hill. Shots are 20-12 for Richmond Hill as Jedi Somersault comes in from the outside, pushes his way through and kicked easily to the side by Bedard. That's Thompson kicking around the outside as Leonard gives chase, misses, and this is Somersault coming back in. Somersault's a defenseman. He's been pinched up this entire shorthanded as Moran tries to curve this round in Leonard. This is Leonard carrying around. He stops outside his line. Long pass across, and that's Thompson. Tips it in as Arnold goes for a change. As is a big hit along the boards as we return to 5-on-5 hockey. As Trent Hill starting to show some signs of life here in the second period. As Richmond Hill carries us through the neutral zone. And shot out. Beckett handles his guy into the boards. Shift away. This is Richmond Hill coming through the middle. And it's called offside. Face-off will be to the outside of the neutral zone to the left-hand side of Bedard. As Cox, Trotter, Newman step in. Robinson and Moran back on the point. 12:39 of the second period, 2-0 Richmond Hill. Trotter steps in, wins the draw. Holds his man up as it's slapped in by Richmond Hill. Trent Hill regroups as that's Robinson, kicks it around to Cox. Cox looking for the outlet pass, spins away. That's Moran as he tries to work this one out. Gets it out. That's Robinson pinching up from the point. And Trotter pushes into the outside. He's checked hard by Pan. Hard shot around, controlled by Robinson in the corner, looking for the outlet pass, doesn't get it. As Trotter circles into the outside. Trotter back to the point. That's Cox, long shot. Tipped out front, hit away by Newman. As Newman chases his man into the corner. As the puck gets away by Jacob Trotter and slapped in, and Moran is barely able to keep that in as Newman finishes his check along the boards. As Jacob Trotter muscles his way through and grabs the puck and circles away. That's Trotter up the sideboard to Newman. Newman tries to get that loss at his feet and controlled by Richmond Hill. Cox finishes his long check, goes for a change. As Richmond Hill comes in with a 2-on-4. Goes out front. Jacob Trotter hits his guy away. As Richmond Hill controls back. That's Osman. Long shot, tipped away. Bedard got a piece of that and is able to hang on to that. As Capizzi, he seems to be complaining to referee Jacobson, who's not having any of that. As Trent Hill changes 11:29 left of the second period. That's Thomas. McDougall up front with Beckett. Face-off won by Richmond Hill and tipped away. Long shot in. Gone to the corner. Turcock chases his man to the corner. He battles through two players and gets the puck out to Beckett. Beckett circles around looking for the outlet. Pass to Bennett. Bennett up to McDougall. Kicks in off the foot. Bounces high. And sort of controlled by Richmond Hill as they now gain full control and carry the puck back in. Richmond Hill goes the outside. That's Altomare. As Bennett carries that up to Beckett. The ever dangerous Brett Beckett as he misses the pass across to Bennett. And controlled by Richmond Hill. Richmond Hill coming in the odd man rush, 3-on-2. As Turcotte's unable to get the puck out. Quick shot and held by Bedard. At 10:44 of the second period. Face off now to the left-hand side of Bedard. As John Ramsey, Bradley, and Naylor come out on the forward line. Bradley steps in, take the draw. Face off won by Bradley and controlled behind the net. Oh, weird bounce, but Bedard was not fooled by that one and hangs on to the puck. As the face-off will still take control to the left-hand side of Bedard. Bradley steps in. Battles his man, won by Richmond Hill. Puck shot here into the corner as he's chased in hard and hit by Naylor. Two players from Trent Hill's battle their guy into the corner. As that's Thompson, Brett Thompson battling his man. Going to be a penalty here against Trent Hills. That's going to be Thomas for really not letting his guy go on that one, as Richmond Hill will go to their first power play of the game. As the puck will come back all the way down to the Trent Hills end.
This live presentation of the Trent Hills Stallions hockey foot care, diabetic foot care assessment, and treatments. Robin's Nest Farm Market, offering a variety of local farm fresh beef and pork.
Face off, battled in, one controlled by Richmond Hill. As Richmond Hill goes to the power play. Controlled by Richmond Hill. That's Newman out there with Trotter, Robinson, and Moran. Long tip in and tipped away by Moran as Bedard pulls that net back on and controlled. Both Jacobs go up high trying to slap that away as it's cleared out by Jacob Trotter. 9:57, we're halfway through the second period, 1:33 left of the penalty. Shots are 24-13 for Richmond Hill as Richmond Hill controls this through the neutral zone. 3 players chasing as Trotter and Newman square up on the front with Moran and Robinson still out there trying to square this up with a penalty kill. Long shot. Oh, scores! Wow, that was Lyarkos as he comes right up. That's his second of the night as he walks right in and makes this score 3-0 Richmond Hill in the second period. Kind of had all day to walk in on that one. 9:33 of the second period. 3-0 Richmond Hill as Trent Hills tries to figure this one out. McDougall steps in to take the face-off. Face-off won by McDougall and carried in by Beckett. Off the foot of the Richmond Hill players, he goes down as Richmond Hill comes right back with a 3-on-3 as it goes behind the net, missed by Moran, but Robinson gets a piece. That's Pan, long shot, hits the chest of Bedard and slapped away. Again, another crazy shot by Pan, but grabbed by Bedard as Moran was out front of the net battling his man at 9:12 of the second period. Again, First Responders Night here in Warkworth, Ontario. Thank you for joining us live here on Sporfy. We love coming to you live. As face-off is won by McDougall and controlled in the corner by Bennett. Beckett controls the puck around the outside, but taken over by Richmond Hill as they come into the corner here. This is Travis Bennett batting his man in the corner as he slaps the puck away. Long shot by Richmond Hill, but tipped away as McDougall finally slaps this one down, and Beckett gives chase down to the far end. He goes behind the net as there's a bit of a stick there. No call by the officials as they go to slap this one in and kept outside. That was Travis Bennett trying to dump the puck in for Trent Hills and unable to get the puck in. The only time I'd like to see that there's a heavy police presence here in Warkworth, of course, again, First Responders Night, as the OPP, the Northumberland Paramedic Services, and of course the Trent Hills Fire Department here in great support of the toy drive and the First Responders Night, as that's Bradley as he loses the puck and shot into the Richmond Hill zone. Long tip in and easily handled by Bedard and kicked off to the side. 8:36 of the second period. Face off to the left-hand side of Bedard, who has faced 26 shots tonight, to his counterpart, Marcelli, who has 13, 3-0. As Bradley steps in for the draw, wins the draw, and Turcotte controls behind the net, tries to clear this one out, and does. That's Ramsey missing the assignment. As long shot in, kicked to the side by Bedard, as Bradley finishes his check, and Bennett kicks this one out. Slapped away by Naylor. He gets it over to Ramsey, and he dumps it in. That's Bradley chasing behind the Richmond Hill zone. Bradley finishes his check, but it is controlled by Richmond Hill. As Richmond Hill in the half boards, they clear out to the neutral zone. As Richmond Hill comes in, fake shot, steps through his man, and is easily controlled by both defensemen of the Trent Hill Stallions, and kicked off to the side. Bradley having words on the far side with his player. That is Leonde. As Trent Hills goes for the change. As Thompson, he steps out there with Leonard and Arnold, and the puck's carried off to the far side. As is carried through by Trent Hills, turned over by Richmond Hill. Richmond Hill kicks it in and carried by Moran. Moran kicks it out and gets it outside. Richmond Hill now battling as it's pushed through. Hard hit by Arnold. As he battles his man, Robinson comes in, gives his guy a shot. As Trent Hill has to clear. 7:30 left in the second period, 3-0. Shots 28-13 as Richmond Hill clears up the zone. That's Summersall carrying the puck down the outside. He dipsy doodles outside of Robinson. Hockey's a very small world as Jedi Summersall came in on Robinson. Robinson, former player of the Durham Roadrunners. Summersall was a player for the North York Renegades, both in the GMHL. As Trotter, Newman, and Cox come out at 7:25. Face-off won by Trotter and controlled by Newman. Newman tries to clear it out, hits the linesman, and unable to get it out as Richmond Hill controls. Big hit by Cox there at the line. Newman chases his man. Robinson slaps and gets it out. That's Cox giving chase across the neutral zone. He's assisted by Newman and Trotter as they all line up. And cleared out by Richmond Hill. Nice hit by Cox along the sideboard. 7 minutes left of the second period. As carried in and knocked down by Moran. Moran looking for the long dump in, gets it behind the net. Newman and Trotter give chase. Richmond Hill defenseman clears out to the half board. Cleared out across the neutral zone. As he continues carried on, chased in by Newman. Newman finishes his check, not hard. Dumped in. This is Robinson chasing into the corner. As he's chasing Metelli, that's Jake Trotter now carrying the puck around the ice. 6:29 left of the second period, 3-0 for Richmond. As Moran now carrying through the neutral zone, trying to get this puck out. Long dump in by Moran to the side of Metelli. Slapped in by Jacob Trotter, controlled by Moran. Defenseman pinching up, and that's McDougall pinching in for him. McDougall long shot, tipped, and knocked down by Jake Trotter, got caught in his jersey and kicked off to the side. That's McDougall stepping in, trying to help him. Chased by Newman. Newman going for the change as Bennett is now out with Beckett. And McDougall. Nice play by McDougall, controlled by Beckett. Beckett controls in, long shot by Michelli off to the right-hand side out of play. 5:47 left of the second period. Shots 28-14 for Richmond Hill as Trent Hill still tries to figure this one out. As McDougall stepping in to take the draw, Richmond Hill wins, goes into the corner. McDougall chases his guy into the corner. And again, controlled by Richmond Hill. That's Jake Bennett. He kicks it up. And carried in around the outside by McDougall. McDougall's to the far side to Beckett. Tips in by Bennett. Beckett back over again, picked off the foot of the defenseman. As is a 2-on-2 rush as Richmond Hill comes in. Nice hip check on the line by Thompson. Oh, as he wanted that one back as Richmond Hill had the great opportunity. Big hit by Bradley. In behind the net, but unfortunately the puck bounced and went out. Richmond Hill did not like that check at all. But that was a very easy hit. As Campbell complained to the referees, looking for their call. And of course they didn't get it. Face off to the left-hand side. That's Bradley coming in to take the draw. Bradley wins the draw into the corner and controlled. Kicked up, that's Naylor. Naylor cuts across the midsection, tries to kick it up. And lost by John Ramsey. As Thompson kicks it back over the far side. That's Bennett shooting it up, but picked off by Pan. Pan checked at the blue line, but stays with the puck. And finally, not controlled out by Naylor. He tries to get this one out and finally does. Chased in by Arnott, down behind his own net. 4:47 left of the second period. As he controls through, here is another Richmond Hill player coming in through the outside. Looking for the pass out to the outside. That's Leonte, pushed to the outside. Oh, there's going to be a penalty coming up against Campbell. That's going to be for cross-checking. As he caught Bradley in the face. We got a little tie-up here in front of the net. As Thomas went looking for that one, as we're going to go to a power play. And we will go to a very quick commercial break as well, and we'll be right back as they work this one out.
This live presentation of the Trent Hills Stallions hockey brought to you by King Auto, providing full auto repair, brakes, steering, AC, and undercoating. All tires from wheelbarrow to tractors to all vehicles. This live presentation of the Trent Hills Stallions hockey brought to you by Pro9 Sports, home of the weekly Razzies, custom framing for art, jerseys, sports prints, and more. Magnolia Bloom, fee-for-service urgent and primary care.
That's going to be a 2-minute power play for the cross check to the face to Russell Bradley. Face off will be down to the right-hand side of Maselli. As there's some explanation going on at the bench, not sure what the explanation is. As Thompson will be taking the face-off up front as the power play unit comes on for Trent Hills. Brand Robinson back on the point. As that'll be Arnold, Leonard, and Thompson up front. 4:33 left in the second period. Shots 28-14. As that's Ty Campbell going in for cross-checking. Face-off won nicely by Thompson, and a shot on Marcelli, which he easily handled and kicked off to the side. Thank you again joining us on our First Responders Night here broadcast live on Sportfy. As Thompson loses that draw and tries to kick out as Moran steps up, keeps it in. Quick shot by Arnold, kicked off to the side by Marcelli. As Arnold dropped down the defenseman, that's Somersault got knocked down. And we got a small shorthanded break here. He's trying to come through. That's Robinson chasing. And that's Lardico as he kicks that off to the side, but he keeps control. Wrapped around attempt, kicked away by Thompson. And controlled by Richmond Hill. That's Jedi Somersault coming around the outside. And kicked in hard as he is dropped in front of the net. As Jedi Somersault comes in. We still got some rough play here as that's Arnold behind the net. As Ismatov also comes in to give him a hand as both players roughing it. That's Cole Arnold as they're pushing and battling behind the net. 3-0 for Trent Hills as they're trying to get this one worked out. A lot of battling, a lot of chirping going on right now as we'll try and get this one worked out, and we'll be right back.
This live presentation of the Trent Hills Stallions hockey brought to you by Local 401, building the North Shore of Lake Ontario since 1900. Finley Refrigeration, heating and air conditioning. Teamsters Local 230, chapter of the Brotherhood of Teamsters.
Well, we're still working this one out as we're still tangled up in the middle of the ice. Seems to be a couple players going now as we're going to try and work this one out. As we'll get you an answer here, and we'll be back right after this.
This live presentation of the Trent Hills Stallions hockey brought to you by Friends of the Warkworth Arena. Visit them at the Hayloft every home game. Cassie's Cleaning, deep cleaning maid services, move in or move out cleaning.
Still lots of sponsorship opportunities here for the Trent Hills Stallions. Feel free to reach out to us on Facebook. Also email trenthillstallions@gmail.com. So many opportunities here to help out the local team and get things going here as we're still trying to get this worked out here from the penalties here. As there was a big battle behind the net earlier. As they're now explaining it as Jacobson, the referee, explained this to Robinson here at center ice. We're still trying to get this worked out. We'll see who goes on the power play for this one. And again, the referee's been called back to the box, and we'll be back shortly after this again.
This live presentation of the Trent Hills Stallions hockey brought to you by A Step Above Foot Care, Diabetic Foot Care Assessment and Treatments. Robin's Nest Farm Market, offering a variety of local foods, including farm fresh beef and pork.
All right, looks like we're getting back to this now. We got this figured out. Trent Hills going down as this will be 4-on-4 hockey for 33 seconds. And then Richmond Hill will go to the power play as the faceoff stays inside the Trent Hill zone. That'll be the extra penalty to Arnold as the faceoff will be to the right-hand side of Bedard. As McDougall will be stepping in for this as he's up front with Thompson, Moran, and Robinson back on the point. 4 minutes left. Face-off won by Richmond Hill and controlled as they're looking to get inside a little 4-on-4 hockey. This is Lardicos again, 2 goals tonight. As Richmond Hill controls around the outside. 4-on-4 hockey, minute 10 left of this 4-on-4 hockey. Long shot, easily kicked off to the side of Moran as that's Thompson coming in hard, battling his guy as Richmond Hill still controls. As nice little fake pass there as McDougall does control. And Moran gets that over to Robinson. Robinson carries the puck up the right-hand side of Marcelli. Robinson steps in, long shot right into the chest pad of Marcelli. As shots are 29-17 for Richmond Hill. Ramsey and Bradley come out on the forwards with Bennett and Turcotte on the point. 4-on-4 hockey, 3:15 left of the second period, controlled by Richmond Hill. Richmond Hill circles back into the 4-on-4, slap down, quick shot, missed to the outside. As Richmond Hill backs up and tries to control this one. Richmond Hill carries up through the neutral zone. That's Pan. Puck gets slapped away into the corner. As Turcotte battles his man and controls. That's Bennett carrying the puck up through. He's got Bradley. Hits it. Puck goes into the corner. Chased in by Arnott and Bradley. Bradley's hitting the corner and battles around the outside. That's Bennett keeping it inside. As Bradley skates through his man, John Ramsey chases around behind the net. As it's a 4-on-2 right now for Richmond Hill coming in. As we are now into a power play situation for Richmond Hill. For 20 seconds. That's Pan stepping out the point, shoots, kicked away by Bedard. Slap pass missed to the left-hand side of Bedard. As Turcotte battles his man low. Puck on back to Pan. That's Pan going to the outside looking to get inside this power play. And doesn't get long pass, kicked away by Bedard. Save again by Bedard as we return to 5-on-5 hockey. .158 as Cox, Newman, and Trotter come out with Robinson and Moran on the point. Jacob Trotter stepping in. Face-off won by Jacob Trotter. Again, brilliant in the face-offs. Again, second game in a row for him. As that's Moran controlling behind the net up to Jacob Trotter. Trotter drops it back for Cox. Cross neutral zone. Crooks tipped in by Newman. To the left-hand side of Marcelli. He grabs and gobbles that up. 1:45 left of the second period. Still 3-0 Richmond Hill. Again, thank you so much for joining us on the live broadcast on Sporfy. Tomorrow afternoon, I should say, Trent Hills are filling in for Uxbridge in Madoc. That game will be uploaded to YouTube later on in the day as there's not a live streaming service in Madoc. As the face-off as the puck is controlled back in, and that's Jedi Somersault as he's checked by Newman in the corner. And that's Cox giving Newman a hand as Newman chases up the outside. Richmond Hill chases through the neutral zone, kicked in. That's Robinson giving chase. He'll battle his man. As Newman skates through his man there, hard hit along the boards. That's Caprizi. Newman finishes his check here again in the corner, and that's Cox chasing the puck out of the outside. Jacob Trotter slaps that away in the neutral zone, controls, and carried out by Moran. Moran and Trotter with Newman chasing as Moran's checked along the half board, but pushes through his man and goes behind the net. That's Jacob Trotter in control. As Thompson just misses his assignment, as that's Robinson coming back. Long shot and controlled by Bedard. Shots are now 32-17, second period, 52 seconds left of the second period. Face off to the right-hand side of Bedard. As Thompson, McDougall, and Bennett step in. Face-off won by Trent Hills. And shot her on the boards by Moran. That's Thompson kicking that out. That's McDougall. He's got numbers with Bennett. Looking for the pass. Quick shot. Just tipped outside. That's Jedi Somersault controlling the puck. Keeps control. And that's Richmond Hill coming in now. And push to the outside. As Robinson carries up his man. As Richmond Hill forward skates in, that's Asmatoff. Shot into the slot, just misses the net to the left-hand side of Bedard. As McDougall battles behind the net, Robinson chases his man in. And he controls. 17 seconds left in the second period. Nice hit by Bennett right here in front of us. That's Robinson controlling. As he's up there with McDougall and Thompson. Long shot in off the left-hand side of Marcelli. And kicked out of play as they're going to let that clock probably run out here. As 0.4 seconds. We're going to talk about this one. Trent Hill believes they have a couple seconds on the clock as they pull Bedard, put out Jacob Trotter. As we got some rough play there behind the zone. And that's Thompson and Jedi Somersault getting tangled up in the corner. As it's 3-0 for Richmond Hill. Shots 32-18. As we will be going to the intermission show. Again, First Responders Night here in Warkworth at the Percy Arena. It is 3-0 for Richmond Hill, and we'll be back shortly after the intermission. welcome back to the third period as face-off won by Richmond Hill and kicked into the outside as tipped out of play by Ramsey. 3-0 for Richmond Hill. Shots are 37-18 as the face-off will take place in the neutral zone just off to the side. And face-off won by Bradley and kicked through, carried in. Around the outside and long shot in by Robinson over the net. As that's Naylor missing his assignment and a kick back to the defenseman. That's Richmond Hill carrying through the neutral zone. And goes the outside. And puck goes down deep. That's Moran chasing. Now Ramsey. Bradley battles his man along the outside. As Naylor chases his man, tries to get the puck away from him, doesn't. As Ramsey just misses the puck and now carried outside. This is Bradley coming down the outside. Quick shot, kicked away by Marcelli. Bradley controls in the corner, looking for the pass, doesn't get it, tipped away. As long pass by Richmond Hill, carried in on the outside. Little flick pass there, knocked down away by Jacob Trotter. He finishes his check in the corner and continues to battle his man. As Richmond Hill controls, as that's Cox chasing his man to the outside. And put through. Easy save by Bedard, shot outside. Shots are 37-19 for Richmond Hill. 18:43 left of the third period. As the face-off is to the left-hand side of Bedard. Face-off controlled by Richmond Hill. And shot in far and not out of play. Long shot by Campbell, kicked away by Bedard. Knocked in behind the puck by Thompson. He battles deep. As the puck is kicked back to the point. Long shot by Somersault and handled by Bedard. Again, number 6 for Richmond Hill, Jedi Somersault. Former captain of the North York Renegades. Long shot. If he winds this one up, he can shoot a puck. As the faceoff will take place to the right-hand side of Bedard. As Blaine Thompson loses that puck and kept in. Thompson tries to control that. Richmond Hill controls, goals around the outside of the half board. Easy drop pass for Eiseltoff. As he goes by the net, he's checked hard behind the net by Bennett. And that's Robinson trying to flick that out. Long shot over the shoulder of Bedard. And tipped away outside. 17:49 of the third period. 3-0 for Richmond Hill. As that's Caprese stepping in to take the draw. And he'll be up against Blaine Thompson. As Richmond Hill controls the puck, low shot, tipped away on the outside. And it's a 2-on-1 coming down the right-hand side of Michelli. That's Arnold carrying the puck, tries to cut through the outside. Quick shot, and kept aside by Marcelli. Kicked in long, that's Thompson. Tries to get outside, hard hit here in front of us. And Marcelli keeps that one. Thank you. As the face-off will take place to the right-hand side of Marcelli. As that's Beckett. Bennett. And McDougall coming out. Moran and Robinson on the point. Face-off won by McDougall, back to Moran. Quick snapshot, just missed by McDougall. As Moran cranks his guy at the line and holds it in. Robinson back to Moran. Moran up, tips through as Bennett. Carries the puck around the neutral zone. He kicks over to Robinson, long shot. Kicked aside by Marcelli. As Robinson able to skate through his big check there on the point. As the faceoff will take place to the left-hand side of Marcelli. As McDougall steps in with Beckett and Bennett up front. McDougall wins that back. And Robinson keeps it in to Beckett as the net comes off. As Beckett was looking for an outlet pass there. Face-off will stay inside. To the right-hand side As McDougall steps in to take the draw on this one to the right-hand side of Marcelli. Dougal wins. Back to Moran. Moran tips it in. McDougall tries to tip that one. Doesn't get it. Looks behind the net. Beckett misses his assignment, and McDonald carry out for Richmond Hill. Knocked down by Jake Bennett. And turned back over by Richmond Hill. That's Robinson backing up on the right-hand side. He tips that into the corner. Long shot misses wide of Bedard as Richmond Hill controls. Beckett slaps that one down, controls, tries to go back to the point, gets picked off by Richmond Hill. Nice save by Bedard. 2 nice saves by Bedard as he keeps that on the outside. Shots are 41-24. 3-0 Richmond Hill, 16:39 of the third period. Face off to the right-hand side of Bedard. As it's a false start. As somebody jumped off, there'll be Trent Hills being kicked out for the draw on that one. As Bradley pleads his case and does not get it. As Naylor steps in to take this draw, as Richmond Hill wins the draw past the defenseman all the way back down. And that's Bradley giving chase at 16:32. He hits his man behind the net and kicked up long. That's Richmond Hill through the neutral zone. That's Metella. Kicked on the outside to Lucero. He kicks it long and easily handled by Bedard. Don't forget the OSHL podcast comes live to you every week here on the OSHL YouTube channel and as well on Spotify every Tuesday with the panel that tells you the truth all about the OSHL as Richmond Hill controls and shoots it high over Bedard's shoulder and controlled in around the net by Bennett. And now controlled up as it's Ramsey gets the puck taken off him and shot down deep. That's Travis Bennett chasing him to the corner. As Naylor hits his man. Bradley chases his guy. That's Somersault step around his man and shot in dive. That's Ramsey in the corner. And Bradley able to lift the stick of his defenseman and get it out. That's Haddad. He kicks through the neutral zone and controlled by Richmond Hill. Richmond Hill carries in on the odd man rush. Knocked down by Metella. Long pass kicked across the outside and missed. As that's now Cox. Tries to get that back out. Newman lightly checks his man there. As it goes on the inside, he kicks it back. And that's Newman picking that off. He carries it up. He's got Cox to the right. That's Cox now chasing it. And Cox will beat the icing as he goes in behind the net looking for. That's Jacob Trotter and Jacob Newman. Colby Turcotte tries to kick that off the defenseman's leg. As Cox goes back to Turcotte. Turcotte spins around his man and is knocked down. And the puck gets outside. Turcotte battles hard against his man and kept in by control by Turcotte. Long shot by Richmond Hill and easily handled by Bedard. 14:58 of the third period. 3-0 Richmond Hill. Shots are 45-24. On First Responders Night here at the Warkworth Arena. As the face-off is lost by Blaine Thompson. And that's Somersault, long backhand pass in from the point and controlled by Trent Hills. As Arnold misses his assignment, as that's Azeltov, he goes behind his own net. As Thompson's kicked off his man. And Leonard circles away from his man. That's Robinson giving chase. Kicked back into his zone. That's Arnold getting back, knocking the stick away from his man. As it goes behind the net. Long pass off the leg and kicked off to the side. Somersault, long pass picked off by Robinson. And Robinson's able to get it out and gives chase. As Richmond Hill carries it back. Robinson still the defenseman chasing up on this play. As Somersault goes up as it's a 3-on-1, 4-on-1 going the opposite way. Shot off the post and out of play. As that was a weird little play by Trent Hills as Richmond Hill came down the other way. 4-on-1. And Bedard able to hack that angle off as the puck goes out of play. Face off to the left-hand side of Bedard. As the face-off is shoveled out hard by McDougall. As that's Beckett bringing it in as it's slapped away. He tries to get back onside, does get back onside. And Trent Hill controls in the neutral zone. That's Turcotte. Long dump in, easily handled by Marcelli. And that's Arnott behind his own net. as he's looking for the outlet pass and gets it. That's Turcock steps through and controlled by McDougall. That's over to Bennett. Bennett brings it on the outside. He's checked hard by his man as Beckett also battles Pan behind the net. And Biscetti gets the puck long, tip in by, as it's shot out of play. Hit just above us here. As that was Bennett on the far side, giving a huge whack at that. As Trent Hill goes for the change. That's Bradley, Ramsey, and Naylor on the far side. As Thomas and Turcock out in the point. That's Naylor hitting his man behind the net. As Trent Hill still trying to figure out Marcelli here from Richmond Hill. As it goes off the leg of John Ramsey and out of play. Face-off will take place on the outside of the blue line to the left-hand side of Marcelli. 13-12 of the third period. Shots are 46-26. As Bradley steps in for Trent Hills. Face-off won by Bradley. As this is Turcock looking to go across. He long dump in by Thompson. Bradley and Ramsey both give chase on opposite sides of the net. As Richmond Hill's able to barely get it out. And that's Thompson carrying control. Back down Bradley. Quick pass over to Ramsey. Ramsey tries to go on the outside. Gets puck knocked away. And controlled by Rossetti. As Bennett, that's why it's Turcock finishing his check as Bedard tries to help out to get that puck cleared as this shot over the net. That's Naylor giving chase. And flicked out by the Trent Hills defenseman. As Bradley gives battle. That's Jacob Trotter out there now. Out to Bradley. Oh, and held on by Marcelli. As Bradley and Trotter try to get that together, trying to get something going for Trent Hills. As this will be Cox, Newman, and Trotter coming out. Robinson and Moran on the point. 12-24 of the third period. 3-0 Richmond Hill. Shots 46-28. As the faceoff won by Jacob Trotter again tonight. As Newman battles in the corner against Summersall. As Summersall wins that battle, goes behind that. That's Cox chasing into the corner. And Summersall, defenseman, pinching up and carrying the puck in as that's Moran battling him. Newman takes a run at Summersall, knocking him to the ice as Bedard hangs on to that puck. 12:08. As Newman having a conversation with a couple of the Richmond Hill players there, probably took exception to that hit. Face off the left-hand side of Bedard. As Jacob Trotter steps in on this one. Jacob Trotter again wins the draw. Moran carries behind the net. Hits the back of the net. Robinson unable to control. As Bedard again stands tall and knocks the puck off the left-hand side. As Cox gives chase, keeping the puck on the outside. Long shot, again easily handled by Bedard. Face-off will be to the right-hand side of Bedard. As Jacob Trotter steps in against Kaplan. And Trotter wins that draw as Newman tries to get that puck up. That's Robinson carrying it through the neutral zone. He pinched up on that draw. As Cox tries to get that in, it goes offside. Jacob Trotter again controlling the neutral zone, the center, and the face-offs, just like he did last game here. As that's Thompson stepping in on the draw. He wins that draw back to Moran. That's Arnold and Leonard out with him as well as Leonard tips that one in and easily handled by Marcelli. That's Eiseltoff behind the net. Looking for the outlet pass. Gets it for Richmond Hill. They come out three strong. That's Campbell to the outside. Goes back to the middle to Kaplan and saved by Bedard. Loose puck, but he's easily grabbed that one. 11:26 of the third period. Shots are 51-28. As the faceoff will take place to the left-hand side of Bedard. That's Thompson stepping in. He's still out there with Leonard and Arnold. Moran now carrying the puck behind the net. As he cuts back in front of Bedard and circles back. Face-off, pass is missed by Thompson. As it's kicked back down, this is Campbell carrying it in for Richmond Hill. Long shot to the right-hand side of Bedard. He knocks this one down and grabs it quick. As we're still Trent Hill's trying to figure this one out. 3-0 Richmond Hill. As this is McDougall, Ramsey. As they step in, wins the draw, goes behind the net. That's Bennett. And he kicks that up to Thompson. That's Bennett carrying that in. He backhands it in all the way behind the net. As Pan and Arnott give chase from Richmond Hill. Arnott back over to Pan. Pan moving up to Richmond Hill. Player, that's Biscotti, gets it through, tipped away by Bennett. As Beckett gives chase, he's chasing Pan. Catches him behind the net. As McDougall goes in to give him a hand and shot around the outside. That's Travis Bennett pinching in. As Beckett looking for the outlet pass, doesn't get it. McDougall, puck in the air. It's going to be a high stick. As there's going to be no change, stays in. Richmond Hill tries to change, can't because of the high stick. As the faceoff will take place to the left-hand side of Marcelli. That'll be McDougall stepping in, still up front with Beckett and Bennett. As Thomas and Travis Bennett on the point. That's Pan from Richmond Hill controlling. Picked away by Bennett, over to Beckett, shoots. Oh, nice save by Marcelli. In close with one of the slashing call coming up. That'll be against Biscotti for the slash. As he knocked the stick right out of McDougall's hands. As a late chance for a power play for Trent Hills.
This live presentation of the Trent Hills Stallions hockey brought to you by King Auto, providing full auto repair, brakes, stee, and undercoating. All tires from wheelbarrow to tractors to all vehicles.
As we're waiting to get started here, unsure what's going on. The timekeeper just buzzed over. Oh, they got the player in the box now. We saw that right away. However, the player didn't go to the timekeeper's box. As Trent Hill goes to the power play at 10:18. As that's Bradley stepping in, wins the draw, back to Robinson. Robinson stepping around the outside, long shot. Nice tip by Naylor, unable to get that through. As Haddad ties him up and pushes him back. Face-off will now take place to the left-hand side of Maselli. As Bradley steps in with Naylor, Ramsey up front, Moran and Robinson on the point. As the Richmond Hill center wins that directly back to his goalie. As we're barely 7 seconds into this power play. Face-off won by Naylor this time. As Bradley controls on the half board. He's looking for an outlet pass. Back to Moran. Quick shot. And it's kicked off here, right in front of us here. As hard hit by Naylor and controlled by Lyarkus. He's got 2 goals tonight. As it's tipped by Ramsey. As he's hit hard by Bradley at the blue line. He tries to go behind his back. And Bradley chases this one down. Tips it in. As they push around the outside. As Naylor. He battles hard in the corner. As Richmond Hill controls. So Tolmar, he carries back into his own zone. Easy pass to his partner. As they're just killing the clock off right now. 1 minute left of the penalty. Nice little spin move there. 2 little spin moves there by Altomar. And carried in by Richmond Hill. Tip the outside, misses their tip. As that's Bennett carrying the puck up. He kicks it across to Moran. Moran pitches up from the defense and tries to carry it in. He controls and keeps it in. Moran, and he's assisted by McDougall as he kicks it across and picked away. We've got a breakaway. As Bedard saves the first 2 and kicked across and picked off by Beckett. Beckett battles through as he comes in 2-on-2. Beckett spins away trying to find his man. There's Moran, quick shot, misses the net. McDougall, that's a goal. They're going to count that one. We will take a look at that one tomorrow. But the referee was claiming that one went in on the power play 20 seconds left of the penalty. That was quite the angle goal. Cameraman's nodding his head. He believes that one was in. We will definitely take a closer look at that tomorrow. As finally Trent Hills figures out Marcelli. And it's now a 3-1 game. As the faceoff is won and controlled by Turcock back in his own zone. As Turcock coming up his own net. 3-1. As that's Bennett spinning away from his man. As they work around the inside. Hard hit by Turcock along the boards. As that's Newman Trotter out there with Cox. Newman controls along the half board. Kicks out to the center. That's Cox. Tries to get it down. That's going to be a foot race down the far end. And he does not get that. As the faceoff will go back all the way down to the Trent Hills end. That's Jacob Trotter stepping in to take the draw on this one. 8 minutes even left of the third period. 3-1 now. As Jacob Trotter doesn't win that draw, it's one of the two of the whole night that he hasn't won. He has been absolutely brilliant in the faceoff. That Somersault, a little tip-off pass, nice save by Bedard. Off the foot of Cox and carried out by Jacob Trotter. He tries to flick that across to Newman, doesn't get it. As Newman and Trotter both chase and hit in. Penalty coming up to Newman. As Somersault stepping in on Newman. That's going to be a holding call against Newman for that one as he reached out trying to grab him. As the faceoff will come deep into the Trent Hill zone. As they now go to the power play. That was Newman for holding. As face-off controlled by Richmond Hill down to the outside. Long shot kicked away by Bedard. As two Richmond Hill players crash the net and aren't able to control. As the outside face-off comes to the left-hand side. Face-off won by Richmond Hill and controlled back. That was Thompson that stepped in the face-off of that one and shot down hard. That was McDougall coming in hard on the goalie. As Thompson and McDougall both step in hard, trying to forecheck this power penalty kill. As Richmond Hill carries up through the neutral zone. Thompson takes a whack at Eiseltoff. Eiseltoff pushes his man out, didn't appreciate the whacks. They continue to trade blows as Bedard kicks that one off to the side. Penalty coming up. Both guys going in the box. That's going to be the Thompson and Eiseltoff as they could not let that one go and continued on as the referees had enough of that, and he's going to sit both guys. As the face-off will be deep still in the Trent Hill zone. As Ramsey, Bradley come out. As well as Thompson, and that's Turcock on the point. As there's a problem with the clock again. As Newman's penalty still should be up on the clock. As we try to get this one worked out for you folks. Again, a problem with the clock. Apologize for this as they try to work this one out. Again, it should be Newman's penalty that's up there, as the last two were coincidental. Well, while we get this little break, why don't we take a look around the OSHL tonight? Look at some of the live scores going on. As we are 3-1 here, Tilsonburg and Dunnville are now 2-2. And the Aurora Rocks are up 2-0 over the Fighting Irish right now on the other side of the Western Hockey League. As a minute 2 is now left up in the Newman penalty for holding. As the two are coincidental, 6:34 left of the third period, 3-1 for Richmond Hill. As a face-off is won by Richmond Hill, but not able to keep kept in. As Richmond Hill has to back up. That was Altomeyer with a fancy little move through his feet there as he comes in on Bennett. That was Thompson, sorry. As controlled by Richmond Hill, they shoot it deep inside their zone. Thompson finishes his check along the boards. As Bradley steps up, penalty coming up again against Trent Hills. As Thompson continues to cross-check his guy as Marcelli goes to the bench. It's going to be a 5-on-3 now. As Thompson got his stick up a little high in the corner. Thompson looking for a little more action here at 6:02 left of the third period. Again, he's still going in, trying to get at somebody. Frustrations are kind of boiling over right now for both teams, or for the Trent Hill Stallions.
This live presentation of the Trent Hills Stallions hockey brought to you by Friends of the Warkworth Arena. Visit them at the Hayloft every home game. Cassie's Cleaning, deep cleaning maid services, move in or move out cleaning. This live presentation of the Trent Hills Stallions hockey brought to you by Pro9 Sports, home of the weekly Razzies, custom framing for art, jerseys, sports prints, and more. Magnolia Bloom, fee-for-service urgent and primary care.
Looks like they got this finally worked out, as it's going to be 5-on-3. To the right-hand side of Bedard, that will be Jacob Trotter out to take the draw on this one. He's out there with Robinson Moran as Jacob Trotter wins the draw and gets it back in behind the corner. 26 seconds left to the penalty to Newman. And Thompson gets a 2-minute penalty for slashing as Richmond Hill unable to keep this in. 19 seconds left of the penalty to Newman. As Jacob Trotter forward checks this one back in as Richmond Hill bagels in on their 5-on-3. Richmond Hill to the outside, works it back to the point, looking for their way in. That's Altomar. Fake drop pass by Lacardos. He's got 2 goals tonight. And that's Newman coming out of the penalty box. He shoots and right into the chest protector of Bedard, as it's still a 5-on-4 for Richmond Hill. As McDougall comes out, Newman will stay on for the penalty kill. As they square up, face-off, won by Richmond Hill, back to the point. Face-off kept to the outside. That's Summersall looking for his way in. As they square up, that's Newman pushing out on Summersall. As Richmond Hill trying to find their way inside. As McDougall pushes his man in, Robinson. Newman gets out, blocks that one, just misses. Goes into the corner, big battle in the corner as Newman goes down low, tries to help out. Puck goes in behind the net, controlled by Richmond Hill. That's Robinson giving chase. And McDougall gets that puck out and chases his man. Summersall waits, gets hit into the boards. As Moran chases his man back, that's McDougall, goes back to Summersall. Summersall, he's going to move this puck up in through the neutral zone and pushes through. That's Summersall still controlling. Newman slaps that one down and gets it out. As Otov pushes to the outside, he goes around the net. That's Moran giving chase. And Newman clears that one down as he goes for a change with McDougall. That's going to be Bradley. And John Ramsey comes out. As there's going to be a late call here Hazeltov got a penalty. We're going to go 4-on-4 for 23 seconds. And then Trent Hills will go to the power play as the face-off will be to the right-hand side of Marcelli. As Bradley Ramsey up front with Bennett and Turcotte on the point. As 23 seconds left of this 4-on-4 hockey. Face-off won by Bradley, shot across. That's Bennett, slaps that one out. It misses, as is the foot race now as Bedard shoots it out. Bedard caught way outside the net as the Richmond Hill player misses. And Turcotte controls and throws that across, picked off by Richmond Hill. Shot easy saved by Bedard. And controlled again by Turcotte. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. And we are now into a power play situation for Trent Hills. That's Beckett. He comes out chasing down. That's Ramsey and Bradley out there. As it's slapped down by Bennett and shot hard outside. That's Travis Bennett, the defenseman. As that's Turcotte stepping up off the point. As he circles around the outside trying to find his guy. Shoots it hard in. That's Beckett. Beckett puts it out to Bradley. He's checked hard. Bradley battles Pan behind the net as Beckett comes in to help. Hits his man hard as that's still Bradley and Beckett in there behind the net. He's back there with Arnott and Pan. Hard shot out to Marcelli. Turcotte steps in, gets the point to Bradley. As Martelli carries that out, and that's Turcotte chasing down with Travis Bennett. Travis Bennett checks his man against the boards. Easy save by Bennett, by Bedard. He kicks off the Turcotte, 3:11 left. 45 seconds left in the penalty. To Richmond as this kicked out. And Trent Hill skates by that one as they're coming in on a 2-on-0 rush. And Bedard kicks that one off to the side as Trent Hill scrambling to get this cleared. That's Richmond Hill. It's Pan falling down. As Turcotte finally gets that one out, he's pinching up again. Quite the shift forward, young Turcotte here. He cuts around the inside, looks around the outside. He tries to flip that in, does. That's Beckett getting by his man. That's Arnott. He steps outside, looking for the cross ice. Almost gets that one. Beckett goes back out front, and as everybody's changing, and the net is now pulled as they go to a high stick caught in the middle of the ice there. As there's a lot of players in the ice, this is going to be icing as we are now playing 5-on-5 hockey. Goalie pulled for Trent Hills. As the faceoff will take place to the right-hand side. This is Jacob Trotter stepping in to take this draw. He has been absolutely brilliant again, second game in a row. As he doesn't win this one, but pushes through his center. As that's Moran checking in off the draw. Richmond Hill looking for the long pass, miss. This is going to be icing again. That was Altomar looking for the long pass, does not get it. 2:05. As the face-off again will take place to the right-hand side of Marcelli. Marcelli. That's Jacob Trotter gets it across off the helmet of Ramsey as Richmond Hill tries to get that one back up. That's Robinson having to step up with the goalie out, 6-on-5. As Jacob Trotter dumps this one long into Richmond Hill. Richmond Hill shoots that one down. Another icing, and they are trapped out there yet again. As Trent Hill changes, they're up front 6. As Beckett, Bennett, McDougall, Bennett, Bradley up front, and Thompson. Shot out hard by Richmond Hill, slapped in by Kaplan. Not going to be icing. That's Travis Bennett trying to clear that out. And they finally get this out. This is Trent Hill's carrying this one in really hard. That's Thompson, bumps into the linesman. As Altomar look for the shot. He hard shots down, scores. That was Altomar shooting down 130 into the open net. Now becomes 4-on-1. As this one seems to be over right now. Again, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us on live broadcast here on Sportfy. As it becomes 4-1 for Richmond Hill. Minute 30 left of the third period. As puck controlled by Trent Hills. This is Iseltoff, long dump out. And is controlled back by Bennett. Moran tip pass up through John Ramsey. As Bradley given chase. Long pass missed. This will be icing. Shots are 55-10 for Richmond Hill. As the face-off will take place to the right-hand side of Marcelli. Bradley will take this draw. He's out there with Ramsey and Naylor. Moran and Bennett on the point. Face-off won by Richmond Hill. And Moran carries that one back. He tries to get that one out. Battles through his man. Last minute of the play of the third period. Shots are 55-31. As Richmond Hill controls this play behind the net. Now carried out by Bradley. Bradley up to Ramsey. Ramsey flips this one through. Doesn't get through all the way. As a delayed offside as Naylor and Bradley both have to clear. As this is Thompson as Somersault stands behind his net, killing the puck off. 30 seconds left. As Somersault chasing around his net. He's hit hard back by Thompson. Little rough play here behind the net. As Somersault comes in to get Thompson back for that hit behind the net. As they still continue to battle. As Thompson with the puck. He tries to get this one out. This is Bennett trying to wrap around, doesn't. Oh, the net comes right over, almost lands on top of the goalie. A lot of rough play going on so far. As Thompson takes a swipe at Somersault. As we try and get this one cleared up. 10 seconds left. 4-1 Richmond Hill. As again, the face-off will take place to the right-hand side of Marcelli. 4-1 for Richmond Hill. As we're still trying to get this one cleared. Hopefully cooler heads will prevail here as we're finishing this one up. As a timeout has been called. As we try to figure out who called the timeout in this one. And we'll be back shortly after this.
This live presentation of the Trent Hills Stallions hockey brought to you by King Auto, providing full auto repair, brakes, steering, AC, and undercoating. All tires from wheelbarrow to tractors to all vehicles. This live presentation of the Trent Hills Stallions hockey brought to you by A Step Above Foot Care, Diabetic Foot Care, Foot Care Assessment and Treatments. Robin's Nest Farm Market, offering a variety of local foods, including farm fresh beef and...
Face off one back, quick shot into Marcelli. He grabs this one with 8.1 seconds left of the third period. As that face-off was won by Thompson, a quick shot in by Moran. As Thompson steps back in, wins the draw. Controlled by Campbell. He's looking for another open net thing here. Lykos missed the hat trick. As that sums up this game here. Thank you again joining us here for the live stream on Sportfy on First Responders Night. Again, thank you so much for joining us here on Sportfy as tomorrow night Trent Hills will travel up to Madoc for a 4 o'clock game against the Madoc Wildcats, which will be loaded up to YouTube, unfortunately, again. As we wrap this game up, 4-1 for Richmond Hill. This has been Bill Newman. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.